The woman was there at customs. Welcome back to South Africa, sir. I was like, yes, I'm back. Same old Trevor. Nothing changed. Going crazy. Because I love accents. I really do. I love accents. I like learning languages, and so obviously accents are a byproduct of that. I've learned over time that even if you can't learn a language, an accent is a great way to communicate with somebody in your own language whilst trying to bridge the gap. You know, you learn somebody's accent, you communicate more effectively. The thing is, though, you have to learn the accent in the right way. If you're going to speak to someone in their accent and you do it in the wrong way, you might come across as racist. You've got to be very careful about this. White people in South Africa often fall into this trap. Yeah. It happens at petrol stations quite a bit. See people driving in with their friends, talking normally, sitting in the car. You know, so I mean, if we get all the numbers together, marketing should be behind this. It should be a breezer. You know, HR's stepped up, and it's going to be a great year. And look, we try and make sure that. Oh, sorry, hold on. Hello, Baba. Hey, sharp man. Please put Lapo full tanky, eh? 95 unleaded, yeah. Also check our tires, eh? Pressure, pumpy, not too much, eh? 2.2, okay. Yeah, good jobby. Yeah, sharp, donkey boss. Don't do that. He's a grown man. He's been pouring petrol his entire life. He knows what you need. Just talk to him like a normal human being. That's the thing people don't understand. Speak to him like a normal human being. I used to get so angry. Whenever I'd see white people changing their accent when they talk to black people, I get so angry. I was like, are all white people racist? Is that what it is? You're racist? And then I learned. Life taught me not to be so quick to judge. Yeah, I learned a valuable lesson. I was driving to Gold Reef City one day, into the backstage area, and the security guard came out to the boom, and he was like, hey, how are you, sir? Is your name on the list? I said, yes, how are you, Baba? My name is Trevor. He's like, okay, Chabal. I said, no, Trevor. He's like, oh, sorry, Chabal. I said, no, Trevor, Shalva. Trevor, Shalva. Trevor, Shalva. Trevor, Shaval. Trevor, Shaval. Trevor, Shaval. And now my friend who was irritated, he just leans over me and he's like, hey, Papa, get Trevor. He was like, oh, Trevor. Why you don't talk properly? And then I understood. I finally understood what white people have been trying to do. I see, you're trying to communicate more effectively. You're trying to engage somebody. But understand this. When speaking to somebody in an accent, the number one rule to understand is an accent is not a measurement of intelligence. Right? An accent is just somebody speaking your language with the rules of theirs. That's all an accent is. So don't speak down to them. Don't patronize them. Speak to them the way you would to yourself. Just try and learn their accent. That's all it is. It's just another accent. Yeah. And I learn them. I spend all my time learning accents. I try. I love it. I learn in restaurants. That's a safe place to start. You know, you learn, you read off the menu, you try and pronounce the words correctly. I was inspired by French restaurants, funny enough. Yeah, whenever I'd go to a French restaurant, I was always fascinated by the fact that people would order food in a French accent. I never understood why. Because they don't do it in any other restaurants. Only in French restaurants do people walk in and then change their accent when they order. They come in talking normally. Yeah, you know, it's a wonderful thing. You're really going to enjoy it. It's so beautiful. Yeah, stunning. You have to have... Oh, the dessert. Oh, good evening. How are you, sir? Yes, I will have a bottle of water for the table, please. And let's start off with... could we get the Sauvignon Blanc, please? Yes, and you know, we definitely, for mains, going to have the filet mignon. And for dessert, we're going to go with the crème brûlée. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, you're going to love it. Like, why are you doing that? I never understood. I was like, why? Because it's not like the French are going to return the favor. There's no French people sitting in our restaurants in South Africa looking at the menu like, so for the table, we can order some starter portion. We share something? No? Okay. Could we please have one serving of the boerewors? That's not going to happen. I'll never forget. I met an American in South Africa.
And he said to me, he said, well, you know, Trevor, it's funny you say that because if you come out to America, they'll label you as black. I said, really? And he was like, hell yeah. Oh yeah, everybody's black out there. And I was like, wow, well, I want to be black. And I found out it's true. Mixed race people are categorized as black in America. Yeah. The only catch is, and nobody tells you this, you have to be liked and successful first. Before then, they say you mixed. You achieve success, and you get upgraded to black. All the famous mixed people do it. Singers, like Alicia Keys and Mariah Carey, yeah? Mixed, but then they say black singers. Sportsmen, like Tiger Woods, mixed, but then they say black golfer. The most famous mixed person on the planet by far, Barack Obama, mixed, half and half, straight down the middle. But then they say America's first black president, which is interesting because when he was running, they called him the mixed candidate. I see how it works. Everyone makes it obvious now. They're like, yeah, Barack, of course he won, of course. It wasn't that obvious when he started. It wasn't. I remember comedians coming out. They used to diss him. Guys would come out on stage and be like, man, how many of y'all seen that crazy-ass mixed fool running for president? Y'all seen that mixed fool running for president? What you gonna see? Ain't no mixed fool gonna be president of the United States of America. Ain't no man, which white people gonna be voting for a mixed fool? Even a black man can't win shit. Even a black man can't. How some mixed fool think he gonna do it? Man, that mixed fool, that crazy-ass mixed fool. How some mixed fool, that mixed fool? And then he won, and all of a sudden they were like, my nigga. So...
it's just gonna work, folks. It's gonna work. It's gonna be done. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be done. And the people in South Africa and Iraq and the countries and health and insurance, and we're gonna do all the things healthy with the money and also thank you.
Donald Trump is losing his mind, saying the craziest things.
We're gonna build a wall, and Mexico's gonna pay for it.
I love how Mexico's like, we ain't paying for shit, man.
We might build your wall, but we ain't paying for it, man. Stupid.
Donald Trump's just doing his own thing. Everything seems to be going wrong for him. Now he's getting ready to start a war, launch a nuclear weapon.
North Korea, they will know fire and fury. Fury and fire, fast and furious. Tokyo Drift, like no one's ever seen.
This guy's gonna blow up the world, people. He's not having a good time. So I correct people all the time. I go, look, man, say what you want about Jacob Zuma. He knows his policy. Yeah, doesn't mean he's getting things right. Doesn't mean he's doing the correct things, but he knows his policy. You can't say they're the same, you know? And say what you want about Jacob Zuma, but he knows how to handle his ladies. Yeah, he doesn't have any problems there. Donald Trump, walking around in public, his wife smacking his hand away. Pa! In public. Do you know how embarrassing that was? Donald Trump was there trying to hold Melania's hand. She just slapped it away. He tried to grab it and she, pa! And then the second time he tried to grab it and she just did like a little thing. And everyone was like, are they okay? Are they fighting? I was like, yeah, of course they're fighting. They're having a horrible time. Completely horrible time. And you don't even need to see the video of the hands to know that they're having a bad time. I've had a theory for a long time that Donald Trump and his wife are not in a happy relationship. And I don't want to start any rumors, but I've noticed this. You know, I've noticed it in their speeches. Every time Donald Trump or Melania speak, it seems like they're throwing shade at each other. They're giving a speech, but they're actually talking trash about the spouse. Every time, all you have to do is listen to the subtext of what they're saying. For instance, Melania Trump came out. She made a speech about her platform as First Lady. In America, every First Lady gets to choose what their dream job is going to be, what they're going to be doing to help the country. Michelle Obama said she's going to help kids get healthy meals and workouts. Melania Trump came out, and what did she choose? She came out, no one forced her, and she was like, As First Lady, I believe we need to fight against the cyberbullying. All of the people on the Twitter who are saying the bad things, we need to stop them. We need to make sure that they cannot carry on what they're doing. I was like, do you know your husband, lady? And now I realized she was doing it on purpose. They were having a fight. Yeah. She probably got home that night, dropped her keys on the table. Donald Trump was sitting in the living room, turned on the lights. Hi, Melania. I saw what you said about me on the news. It was very not nice. Oh, hello, Donald. I didn't see you sitting over there. I thought you were watching the cartoons. You know I was watching the news, Melania. I watch all the news. Fake news. So what are you going to do about it, Donald? You want a war? You've got a war. I'm gonna get you, Melania. You're gonna pay. Do your worst, Donald. Oh, it's on. I'm the best at worst. The next day he came out, gave a speech. What did he say? We've got to get rid of all these immigrants, folks. All these immigrants need to leave this country. Your move, Melania. She went to a women's conference. We need to stop sexual assault. The men who are grabbing the ladies.
And so Velasquez walks down towards where I'm standing with my agents. My guy tries to apologize, says, I don't know what's going on. I silenced him with one move of his hand. He's like, no, I go. And he stepped up, he looked me in the eye, and he's like, sir, you got to stand for that, okay? Don't touch nothing on the movie, okay? None of that. And I didn't know what he was saying. But I knew what he meant. And so I stood there, I raised my arms. And as I did, he whipped out his wand. He started using it all over me, and as soon as he did, I knew why he was who he was. It was the most magical thing I've ever come across in my life. The way he wielded that wand was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I felt like I was being blessed. I just stood there with my head down as he went all over me, just blessing me with his power. It was something special. It was like a force and energy. It's all, like on the outside, you still heard that beeping. It was like, ee, but in my head, I heard a lightsaber. That's what I heard. I heard like, it was like, because he was to me, a little Mexican Jedi. In fact, that's exactly what he was. He was my Mexican Jedi. Which, by the way, I feel would be a welcome addition to the Star Wars franchise. No, I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I was super excited when I found out they'd be making another one. I was losing my mind. I went back, watched all the movies, and I came to realize that there's no Mexican Jedis, not even one. There's no Mexican Jedis, which is weird. Because when you look at it, technically speaking, Star Wars is a vision of America in a distant future. So, surely it would be safe to say, judging by the current trajectory of Mexican people in America, I'm sure it would be safe to say that by that time, in a galaxy far, far away, there would be at least one. Yeah, just one Mexican Jedi. It's not even like it would spoil the story. Who knows, it might open up a whole new avenue. Can you imagine how different that epic scene between Luke and Darth could have been? Them battling it out on the Death Star. The moments of realization. Luke. What do you want, you evil man? Luke. What do you want from me? No. Luke, man. Luke.